Hey everyone, welcome back for part 2 of lesson 1. So part 1 of lesson 1, we learned all about ratios, how to write them, and we were talking about Carlos and his tennis balls and his baseballs. Now we are going to be comparing quantities using ratios. So now we're talking about a guy named Chris. And Chris mixes 4 cups of cereal, 3 cups of pecans, and 2 cups of raisins to make a snack mix. How can you use ratios to compare the quantities of each ingredient and the total amount of snack mix? So there's a couple of different things that you can do. You can picture it. You can use a diagram to help you represent this problem. All right, so here I can see we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 cups of that cereal to represent the cereal that he added. We've got 1, 2, 3 cups of those pecans and 1, 2 cups of raisins for his snack mix. So that's the picture it model. If you're a kinesthetic learner where you have to draw things out, that is the way to go. Another way you can do this is you can model it using a tape diagram. So in each one of these tape diagrams, each rectangle means a cup. So for cereal, we've got 4 cups, we've got 4 rectangles. Pecans, we have 3 cups, we have 3 rectangles. And then the raisins was 2 cups or 2 rectangles. So this is a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This is 9 cups total of ingredients. Fairly simple, ready to move on. All right, now we're going to connect it. So now you will solve the problem from the previous page using ratios to compare the quantities. So it says, what are 3 ways to write the ratio? So 3 ways to write the ratio of cups of cereal to cups of pecans. Now, I'm one of those people where I don't like to flip back and forth between pages. So I'm going to write everything that I know at the top here. I had 4 cups of the cereal. I had 3 cups of the pecans. Of those pecans. And then I had the 2 cups of the raisins. All right, now we are ready to solve this problem. We need to write it 3 different ways, so hopefully you remember how to do that. Cups of cereal to cups of pecans. So in our problem, the cereal comes first. So 3 different ways to write this. I've got 4 cups of cereal to 3 cups of pecans using that colon. That's way 1. Way number 2 is 4 using that fancy word 2, 3. And finally, hopefully you remember, it is a fraction. So this is 4 over 3. All right, we wrote it 3 different ways. All right. Second question, does the ratio of cereal to pecans compare part to part to whole, or whole to part? If it was anything to do with the whole part or the whole thing, it would have to have 9 in somewhere. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 pieces total. Remember from this tape diagram up here? So our ratio of cereal to pecans is not part to whole and it's not whole to part, which means that the only thing left is part to part. What is the total amount of snack mix? Total amount of snack mix. We have 4 cups of cereal, 3 cups of pecans, 2 cups of raisins. And we already said that that was 9 cups total. 9 cups of snack mix. All right. Now it's asking us, we need to write ratios to compare the amount of each ingredient to the total amount of snack mix. Amount of each ingredient to the total amount of snack mix. Now, it doesn't say we have to write it 3 different ways, which is great because it didn't give us that much space. So let's write each one of these a different way. So we've got 4 cups of cereal to 9 cups total. We used a colon. Okay. We have 3 cups of pecans to 9 cups total. And finally, we have 2 cups of those raisins to 9 cups total. So I'm going to just change the color of my font here really fast. This one is cereal. This one is pecans. And this one were those raisins. And remember, it was the part to whole, okay? We need to now explain how you can write a ratio to compare 2 different quantities. Remember, there is 3 different ways to write a ratio. So you can write a ratio 3 ways. Hopefully we all remember what they are. So we can use a colon, which is that 4 to 9. We can use the word to and do 3 to 9. And we can also write it as a fraction, which was that 2 over 9. All right. Finally, for this lesson, part 2 of lesson 1, we are going to use what we learned about writing ratios to solve these next 6 problems. Super easy, we can do this. So Leo blew up 7 balloons. Kathy blew up 5 balloons. Write each ratio at least 2 different ways. So the ratio of Kathy's balloons to Leo's balloons. Again, Kathy is named first, so Kathy's balloons have to go first. So let's start by saying, well, Kathy blew up 5 balloons and Leo blew up 7. I know that it asked for 2 different ways, but we're going to cross this off, and I want all 3 ways. Okay, just for practice. So 5 over 7, 5 to 7, and 5 colon 7. All right, then the ratio of Leo's balloons to Kathy's balloons. So now Leo is first. Again, we're writing them 3 different ways because we need to practice. So we've got Leo is 7, so we can do 7 over 5. 7 to 5, I almost made a mistake there, and 7 colon 5. Our final problem is the ratio of total balloons to Leo's balloons. So the total number of balloons is the 7 plus the 5. So that is 12 balloons to Leo's balloons. So 12 colon, where was Leo? 7. 12 over 7 and 12 to 7. Easy peasy on that. Not too hard. Not too hard. Our next and final problem says that each class had the goal of selling 100 tickets to the school carnival. Miss Garcia's class sells 87 tickets. Mr. Carpenter's class sells 113 tickets. So we need to write this ratio in at least 2 different ways. And I want us to write it all 3 ways again. All right. So the ratio of Miss Garcia's sales to the goal. So Miss Garcia sold 87 and the goal was 100. So we can write it 87 to 100. We can write it as 87 over 100 as a fraction. And finally, we can write it as 87 colon 100. I don't know why I wrote that so small, but I did. So that is Miss Garcia's sales to the goal. Then we have Mr. Carpenter's sales to the goal. Mr. Carpenter had 113 to 100. 113 over 100. And finally, 113 colon 100. Our final problem is super simple. This is the ratio of Mr. Carpenter's sales to Miss Garcia's sales. So I have a challenge for you. Which one comes first, Mr. Carpenter or Miss Garcia? Okay, Mr. Carpenter comes first. So it's 113 to 87. Then we've got 113 over 87. And finally, 113 colon 87. All right. Good job today, guys. Make sure you have written all of this in your math textbook, and I will see you tomorrow.